More than 60% of federal government managers who are Democratic and say they voted for Kamala Harris say they will not follow a lawful order from Trump if they think it's bad policy. My name is Tyler O'Neill. I like to say I was born in the People's Republic of Boulder, but revolted into orthodoxy in early youth. You tend to grow up in a rural area, you tend to be conservative. I always prefer to think that it's because of what I've learned in life that led me to be conservative. Went to Hillsdale College, I studied under giants like Victor Davis Hanson. I came to the Leadership Institute in the summer, I think it was the summer before I graduated college. I started taking some classes here, and there was a great journalism training at LI, and it really inspired in me the desire to pursue journalism. It taught me that there was a lot of opportunity to do various different things. And I think that's one of the great things about the Leadership Institute, is that it can broaden your horizons by a wide degree. I had been studying and following the Southern Poverty Law Center for a long time. I'd been writing about this particular group because I think it is the tip of the spear of the way that the left demonizes conservatives. They did some really noble cases in their early years. They got black men who had been falsely convicted of rape off of death row. Really important stuff. The kind of stuff the SPLC should be doing today, but they got off track. Morris Tees realized that he could sue these Klan leaders into bankruptcy. The Klan leaders had nothing to their name, but he would get these $1 million judgments. So what ends up happening is, Morris Tees gets a multi-million-dollar settlement. Klan group doesn't have millions of dollars. The Klan group has $50,000, and they give the $50,000 due to the court order to Bula Mae Donald. Bula Mae Donald takes that $50,000, that is all she got, and she gives it to the Southern Poverty Law Center. Why? Because the Southern Poverty Law Center gave her a loan on her home. And so she used that money to pay off her home loan to the Southern Poverty Law Center. Meanwhile, the Southern Poverty Law Center goes to its donors and says, we got a multi-million-dollar judgment, pay up. We're doing great work. They got $2 million. So the SPLC is raking in cash from their donors. The poor woman barely sees any of that money. And then, to make matters worse, Morris Tees wants to make a movie about it. He gets the movie deal. Bula Mae Donald tries to make a movie about it. She doesn't get the movie deal. So it's like, this is the SPLC's beginning of its corruption right here. You see it in this incident. But then, in the 2000s, they go completely off the rails. That's when they start putting mainstream conservative and Christian nonprofits on a hate map with chapters of the Klan. The SPLC, known for bankrupting the Klan, right? When they put Family Research Council and Alliance Defending Freedom on a map with Klan chapters, they're sending the message that conservatives are hateful to the degree that they could inspire terrorism. What the SPLC does with it over and over again is they go to the media, they go to the government, they go to law enforcement, they say, look, we have this map. It shows all the terror threats, the infrastructure of white supremacy, they call it. This map inspires an act of terrorism against the Family Research Council. And their rhetoric has arguably gotten worse. I mean, in recent years, not only did they add, they've demonized doctors who dissent from the transgender narrative. So now on the hate map with chapters of the Klan that has inspired an act of terrorism, they have groups like the Society for Evidence-Based Gender Medicine and Do No Harm, which are groups of doctors who are dissenting from the idea that you should sterilize young kids just because they say they are confused about their gender. The SPLC was advising the Biden administration, and in a lot of different ways. Biden tapped an SPLC attorney to a top federal judgeship. I know the administration brought in the SPLC to advise on domestic terrorism, which is really shocking. This organization that puts conservatives and Christians on a map with the Klan. Biden administration thought they're the ones we should trust. I got the idea for Woketopus by seeing how much influence the SPLC had on the Biden administration. This hand-in-glove approach that we see with these leftist groups that are brought into the administration And it's already bad enough that Washington, D.C. bureaucrats lean left. It's worse when you have these woke activist groups working hand in glove with them to influence policy. Peter Strzok and Lisa Page were the premier examples, but a lot of federal bureaucrats decided, our job is to oppose the people's elected president. I just covered a poll from RMG Research and the Napolitan Institute that revealed that about 60, I think it's more than 60% of federal government managers who are Democratic and say they voted for Kamala Harris say they will not follow a lawful order from Trump if they think it's bad policy. And that is the deep state in a nutshell. Don't just think about the person you're voting for, think about the people that they're going to be bringing into the administration with them. The second thing is, as an American citizen, you have the right to send a notice and comment to weigh in on federal regulations under the Administrative Procedures Act. This is a concrete way that all Americans can comment on policy, can influence the administrative state. And the other thing is public sector unions. Even Franklin Delano Roosevelt, no conservative, the guy who created the administrative state, for crying out loud, he said that they should not exist because what they represent is the civil servants having this adversarial relationship with the people's elected representatives who should be the ones calling the shots. Every American who's a citizen who has the right to vote can think about these things, can have an impact, and of course, you can also get the book. You can find the Woketopus and Making Hate Pay, my first book, on Amazon. It's on paperback, it's an ebook, and it's going to come to Audible probably sometime in March.